Hi YouTube, and welcome back to my Let's Play Diablo 3. Alright, so we have gotten Zoltan Kuhl's head. You can see his ghost kind of floating there with us, and he's now kind of following us around, and our next task is to get 2 vials of his blood. So apparently when he was dismembered by the Haradrim back in the past, they put his head in one place and then took half of his blood and hid it in one place and hid his other vial of blood in the other place. But before we can go after the vials of blood, we first have to get to there's a desert that we have to get to, and before we can get there, we have to, you can see the current objective is to enter the ancient waterway in the Dahlgur Oasis, and so that's our first task, and that's what we're going to be doing this week. And then I'll do part 2 of Blood and Sand next week, where we actually go through the desert and look for his vials of blood. I had to break this particular campaign up into 2 parts just because it's too long. This would have been a 45-minute video, and considering folks don't generally tend to watch a lot of these videos, I thought I would break them up into some slightly smaller chunks. I think 20 minutes is a little bit easier to digest for folks who actually do watch these videos. Alright, so we're still going through the Dahlgur Oasis right now, and we're just looking for the entrance to the waterway. It's one of the reasons why this is such a long campaign, the Blood and Sand campaign, is just because, one, we have to find the waterway, get in the waterway, and then there's a couple of levers that we have to flip in order to get to the entrance, so that we can get out to the desert, so that we can then find the vials of blood. So it's quite a long slog in terms of the things you have to do in order to accomplish your goals for this particular campaign. Where a couple of the campaigns earlier, I ended up sticking 2 of them together because they were pretty quick. In this case, they're actually getting longer. So it really depends. Each campaign within an act within the game. There's varying lengths in terms of how long it takes you to get through things. And it also depends on some of the randomization factors in the game as well. I have previously transported to Dahlgur Oasis after getting Zoltan Kuhl's head and being dropped off right by the entrance, right by the bridge where the ancient waterway is. And I have sometimes been dropped off all the way across the other side, so it's actually like there's this randomization factor in terms of where you get dropped off and the layout of the oasis in general, and what kind of monsters you encounter and that kind of thing. So there's a number of factors that it's like sometimes the chapter can be really long, just because of the randomization factors where if you get lucky and you get dropped off in the right place, you could maybe take something that is currently taking me 20 minutes, might have only taken me 10 minutes, just depending. So I thought maybe this was it, but nope, it's not. No, it's somewhere along this edge, but again, it keeps changing. I mean, at the very least, it definitely keeps it fresh, in terms of the gameplay. You still have the same objectives, but you end up playing against, different types of monsters. Maybe not types of monsters, but, different elites and things that you have to fight, and, the layouts are different, and sometimes you have different types of caves and dungeons and things you can explore as well. And I thought maybe that could be it, but nope. So, they keep it fresh and interesting, in my opinion. I mean, some people find it a bit of a slog, but are we? Nope. Either. Gotta keep looking for it, I guess. And for those of you who might have played early on with Diablo 3 and maybe have not continued or not gotten the expansions, you're wondering why I've got these bright angel wings. It's not actually part of the Crusaders look per se. I think I got it because I got the premium version of the expansion. And so because of that, I ended up that was one of the freebies that they gave you, were these glowing angel wings. I am on the side of good, supposedly. Oh, here we go. Here's the bridge that we're looking for. Oh, we've got to fight this dude. But yeah, that's one of the interesting things about Diablo 3 that I like is the fact that there's no clear good side versus bad side. I mean, you know, obviously the angels of heaven are supposed to be good, and the demons of hell are supposed to be bad, and we're, you know, basically trying to bring down the lords of hell. Oh yeah, and Zoltan Cool here has to open up the door for us. But oh, and we're
no time for pleasantries. I think I may have uncovered Bilal's assumed identity. I'm very close. But here's what you need to know. To find Cool's blood, you'll need to get through the aqueducts. There are 2 levers that control the entrance beneath the waterfall.
okay, so I wanted to include that that little bit of dialogue into the game, just because you know, with Emperor Hakan, and you know, he's trying to help, giving us some guidance in terms of how to get out of the ancient waterway and stuff. So right now we've got 2 things. We got the western control lever to pull and the eastern control lever to pull, which will then open the entrance to the waterlogged passage, and that will allow us to go out to the desert, where we'll find the dungeons or the caves systems where Zoltan Cool's blood was hidden. So we first have to find the I think we're going after the western control lever first. I think that's what we're going after at the moment. But first we've got to find it. So we've got to wander around these watery passageways, getting our boots wet, so to speak. But yeah, as I was trying to say, you know, the whole thing with the good versus evil, and the fact that, I mean, okay, the Lords of Hell are pretty clearly evil. I mean, they're trying to control humanity and take over and just, you know, remake Sanctuary, which is the name of the human existence, you know, the planet. I don't know if it's the name of the planet or just the plane of existence they're on or whatever, but the humans live in what's called Sanctuary. And the Lords of Hell are trying to take over and control Sanctuary. And of course, my character is considered a Nephilim. Nephilim were the offspring of angels and demons. And, you know, there's been like this war between the angels and the demons for time immemorial. And some of them decided they were getting a little sick and tired of all the fighting, and so they made those ones made a pact and got together and started procreating, and their children are the humans. So that's why humans are partially good and partially evil, because we're a mix of demons and angels, you know, according to the lore of this world. And then you know, the thing is, though, that the angels aren't, like, purely good. Some of them are, Tyrael being one of them, but not all of them. I mean, some of the leaders are definitely, like, they care more about themselves than they do about humans. Okay, they see us as a pesky nuisance. So the angels want to just get rid of humans in general, and the demons want to control us. So, you know, which side is truly more evil than the other? You know, there's a lot of ambiguity in terms of morality and stuff in this storyline and everything, which I think makes it interesting. Definitely makes it interesting. Okay, so as you saw, we did flip the Western flow control lever, and now we're going to have to flip the Eastern control lever. And fight our way through all these demons and trying to figure out where we're gonna go anyway. But yeah, so I think that definitely makes it a very interesting storyline, and I think they did a really good job of telling that story. I mean, obviously, a lot of the lore in Diablo 3 was set down long ago in Diablos 1 and 2, and they're just kind of building upon that, on that lore. Now, I did not play Diablo.
The Chaldean aqueducts were created by order of the Trade Consortium Council after the Dahlgur Oasis was discovered 3 centuries ago. Though Chaldeum had been prosperous for many years, a reliable source of water allowed the city to grow even further. Luxurious public fountains were built to provide safe drinking water for everyone.
Okay, does include a little bit of lore there about these aqueducts. And anyway, so as I was saying, I did not play Diablo 1 or 2. I didn't have... When Diablo 1 came out, I didn't actually have a computer at home. I was basically just using on-campus computers at my university, and you can't install software on those, so I did not have access to that. In fact, the only games I could play were... They had SimCity in the one computer lab I would go into, and then they had Amazon Trail and they had Oregon Trail. So I played those a lot. And that's about it. Really didn't play a lot of other things. And then it wasn't until I moved to Colorado and had a PC at home that I finally got into playing some other games. I really got into things like Myst. I played Ultima 7 and Ultima 9. Not sure why I skipped 8, to be perfectly honest. Really loved the Myst series. Myst and trying to think of because there's Uru, but Uru was sort of an offshoot version. And things, but yeah, the Myst series in general was really good. I got into Tomb Raider for a while. I think it was probably the only first-person shooter game I ever really got into. Although I did play Quake a little bit as well, and there was one game called Forsaken, which was kind of cool. I loved that one. Can't play it anymore, even though I can actually adapt it to my Windows 7 system. My graphics card, it takes advantage of my graphics card capabilities too well. And the game is way too responsive now and way too fast to the point where it really makes me dizzy, and I really can't take it anymore. Whereas, you know, with the older graphics processors and everything, you know, it was a slower game. I mean, it wasn't slower as much as it was like a normal speed. It was designed for the processors at the time, and it wasn't designed for the kind of the speed that we have now. But it was designed to take advantage of the processor speed as best as it could, and it played really well on the 386 computer I had way back in the day. But now on the modern computer, it's like super responsive and super fast, and like any tiny little twitch on the keyboard, on the mouse, and you flip over and you spin, and it's just like, you know, and it just makes me too dizzy. I have a problem with vertigo anyway, so unfortunately I can't play it anymore. Which is a shame, because it actually still plays really well on my computer. It's just too well, if that is such a thing. And if you've ever experienced vertigo, it's just not fun. It is not fun. Got some nice yellow items there. Always looking for the legendaries though. The orange drops are always the best. And just got like hordes of demons and everything. Yeah, look at that. And level 24. Yeah, this I'm really pleased with the speed of leveling now with the game as well, and the fact that you level up as you go, as you progress through the different acts up until the highest level, and it doesn't require you to replay content that you've already played before in order to level up. I like that change in the game. The fact that you completed the game and killed Diablo at level 30 back in the day, and then here's the Eastern Flow controls. So yeah, you did that, and then then you were stuck, and then you had to go back and you had to play again from the beginning at a harder level, just to get to the next, just to get to the next level and just level your character up and everything. It didn't, that part was a tiny bit annoying. Still fun to play and stuff. Oh yes, Covetous Shen. This is a fun little sequence in the game. So we're in the waterlogged passage, and so now we're going through here looking for the entrance out to I'm trying to think of this, the desert where Zoltan Kull's blood is being hidden. But in this part of the game, we end up rescuing Covetous Shen, who's hiding in this barrel, and he's constantly asking, "Is anyone out there? What's going on out there?" And he actually ends up being one of our vendors, or helpers, I guess, at the camp. So you can just read along with what he talks about here. But it's really cool because he's actually voiced by a rather well-known character actor. I don't know if I don't know if you can hear him, because I know I'm talking over everything and everything. But if you play the game and listen to his voice, you might recognize the voice, because he's got a fairly unique voice. Okay, so now we're into the hidden aqueducts. So now we've got to find the crucible and the hidden aqueducts. In the hidden aqueducts, because that's what Covetous Shen needs, is the crucible. And then basically what he ends up doing is he ends up being back at our camp, and he is basically the gem cutter, and he helps like the gem bits that you pick up as you're questing and stuff. He helps you cut them into more and more advanced types of gems, or he combines the small chips into bigger gems, and then those gems into more powerful gems, etc. So along with the blacksmith, and then we've got another gal who is kind of like a potion maker or something. I forget exactly what she does. That you meet in Act 5, who's added as well, in terms of the folks who help you out throughout the game. And the blacksmith is the one where you can get gear. You can actually get gear made rather than just picking up what gets dropped throughout the game. You used to be able to make it and then sell it on the auction house, but they got rid of the auction house. So, alright, well, looks like we're getting close to the end of this video, so we're just looking to get to the last bit here. Should be close. Yeah, let's see. Yep, I see his missing assistant. So that's one of the things, is his Covetous Shen's assistants locked him in the barrel, and this is the one guy. And apparently the crucible is cursed, and it caused this guy to go crazy and become an elite bad guy. But then once we kill him, apparently the curse is lifted. So, yep, that's the end of that, and we'll be exiting out and out to the sands for next week. Thank you. Take care. Until next week. Bye-bye.